Hi, and welcome to this, day 4 of our series of short videos looking at the Mental Health Media Charter and talking you through the pieces of guidance one by one. Thank you so much to everybody who's got in touch to say that you are enjoying these short videos. It really means a lot to me to get that feedback. Keep them coming. Thank you. Before I begin, it is Wednesday, the 10th of January 2018, and it would be remiss of me not to mention that today marks the 2nd anniversary of the passing of David Bowie, who is, in my opinion, one of the most inspiring and extraordinary human beings ever to grace the face of the planet. And his music and artistry and his message has done so much for my mental health. And I know that there are a lot of people out there who feel the same way. So, R.I.P. Starman. I would love to tell you that I have set up this little shrine especially to mark this anniversary, but in fact, this is just what my house looks like. I pretty much live in a giant shrine to David Bowie, apart from one room which is dedicated to Star Wars paraphernalia and belongs to my husband. Anyway, on to the 4th piece of guidance in the Mental Health Media Charter. Now, I do want to put a trigger warning on this because I'm going to need to explain a bad example of mental health reporting in order to convey what a good example looks like. Today's piece of guidance actually relates to day 2, self-harm and eating disorders, and the imagery that's used. If you haven't seen that video, I invite you to just go back and familiarize yourself with that. Now, this is about methodology and the way that we report on eating disorder, self-harm and suicide methodology. It's really difficult in my experience for people who have never gone through a mental illness or don't know anyone who has to wrap their head around the kind of competitive nature or the imitational behaviors that can happen if you sit down, for example, and read an article in which how somebody self-harmed or weights, calories and measurements in an eating disorder are detailed really thoroughly. But anybody who works in this field will tell you that this is a very real phenomenon and it's something that we need to be mindful of. You know, self-harm, for example, is one of the fastest growing mental health problems in young people. And there are many experts who believe that part of the reason for that, not the whole reason, but part of the reason for that is because there is so much information out there on how to do it. So we do need to think about that and the impact that it's having. Having said that, of course, there is a responsibility of the media to report thoroughly and to give people information about what's happened. That's literally what the media was invented for. So it's about striking a balance. Now, in order to create this piece of guidance, I had a detailed conversation with the Samaritans, and they said, for example, and this is where it may get triggering, so you may wish to stop the video now, but this is where they said, to give you an example, if somebody has taken their own life, it would be okay to say that they hanged themselves. It would not be okay to detail what they used in order to do that. It's okay to say that somebody has self-harmed and where they've done it on their body. It's not okay to talk about what instruments they used in order to do that. It's okay to say that somebody has experience of anorexia. It's not okay to detail exactly how low their weight became, or exactly what they ate and how many calories were in it during an average day. So this is a very nuanced piece of guidance, and if there is somebody who you work with or you know that perhaps has experience of mental illness, or they're a mental health first aider, or they have a connection to a mental health charity, and you have the time, I would invite you just to run by whatever it is you're putting out there to them and just ask them to check that you have detailed it in the most responsible and balanced way possible. That's today's piece of guidance. Thank you for tuning in, and I will be back tomorrow with the 5th. Have a good Wednesday.